Hello, welcome back to Big Mood. It is a mood in here because this is the first time ever between our two podcasts that we've ever done, we've ever had male guests on the show.
We're the first men?
You are the first men. And you are the first men of the show.
Are you surprised by that? I'm not.
Yeah. Because you are the spouses of the
you are
ladies.
the first men.
It is an honor.
So
Thank
cute.
you.
Yeah.
I'll
Instead
take
of
the
first
label.
lady, you're first man.
So we often get requests from the audience. We have been for a while now of what a guy's perspective would be on the topics that we've covered, because we do a lot of like, oh, well, here's how I locked down a man, or here's how we dated when we were single. But you would never hear from the guys on like what they liked or didn't like. And so we thought it would be cool to hear from you guys, seeing as though you locked down two of the most gorgeous women on the planet.
I've seen hotter, but yes.
Where?
I won't tell you.
At home?
Because you're very vindictive.
What do you? I don't know what you mean, Steve. I cook your dinners though, so maybe be careful.
Ooh.
Yeah,
you don't want to mess with Nikki.
What do you got on Nikki? You don't got anything on Nikki? You don't do
He
anything
doesn't
around the
have
house
shit.
or anything like that?
He's just talking shit because we like to talk shit to each other and then fuck it out later.
That's true.
That's our style.
Well, should we
I
leave?
just stimulated her C area.
No, we're just getting started. We're very, very cold right now. We're
Oh my
going to go
God.
warmed up.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to be
Okay.
uncomfortable.
It gets tantric.
Oh my God.
We're not allowed to touch each other until the very last moment. So, guys, we were talking
Can
about...
you introduce us?
Yeah, intro.
Oh,
Like hosts do?
I'm like, should we intro them?
whatever.
Thank you.
All right, so just to introduce, I'm Nikki Limo.
I'm Tiffany.
I'm Steve Greene. Some call me Iceman.
No one calls him Iceman.
Casey Chan.
And we've talked about you guys a lot on our show before, just so the audience knows that's just tuning in. I belong to this one,
Yeah.
and
And then he belongs to me.
Tiff belongs to Casey.
Iceman and Nikki.
Not the other
Tiff
way
and
around.
Case.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
We
They also
belong-
have their own channels and stuff that you can definitely check out. The links are in the description.
And I am doing a live show called Ask Lords coming very soon at the end of this month. Thank you.
Ooh.
Cool.
Check that out, too.
No one asked.
Well, I just wanted to promote, give it a big shout out.
Okay, let's get into this because I'm very curious. We did talk about Steve's low body count earlier before we started.
Wow.
People don't know what that
How
means.
low? How low is it?
I have
Exactly.
not had
It's
sex with many
low.
women, just to be clear about what that means.
Near virgin level, but we'll talk about
It's
it
like two.
anyway.
Well,
maybe three.
actually, I got virgins beat, okay?
You
By
do.
multiples, I will say, by multiples.
So, have Casey, is your body count low, or did you get to have a hoe phase that you dated around
I
a
always
little bit?
try to have a hoe phase.
You always got to try to have a hoe
Yeah, you
phase.
always
you
try
know?
to have a hoe phase, but honestly, it never goes as according to plan. You usually get a body count of like 1 or 2, and then by the 1 or 2, you're like, oh, this one seems like
You're
a
like,
long term one.
that was a long enough hoe phase,
Aw,
right?
that's cute.
What kind of player
That'll
shit is
work.
this? I was expecting to hear player shit. He's like, yeah, you meet 1 or 2, you fall completely in love, and you have a long-term relationship.
Absolutely.
I know, but you guys were making fun of me saying near virgin level, and he's like, I get around, I
No.
do some shit, I
No.
fuck it up.
I mean, I think he has for sure you have a higher body count than I do, though.
Do I?
Yeah, because I never had a hoe face.
Oh, true. I mean, I think like college and like, you know, when you go to college and you do like, and having moved out to LA and there's like no, like you're just meeting new people to, you know, reestablish
So
your
your
friend
experience
circle.
with the one night stands.
Yes, I do have experience with the one night stands.
How many
yeah.
one-night stands? Oh, come on, you know. Come on, don't play it.
I would say like
I don't know.
in the 5 range. I don't know.
That's
yeah.
Could be
That's what I see.
5.5.
Yeah,
And I was
5.5.
teasing too because I feel like there's a pressure out there for people to have a hoe phase, and there's also a stigma that's like, oh, guys would rather sleep around and they don't want a relationship
Yeah.
as badly. Girls are always the one that want the relationship, but
That's so false though.
Right.
I feel like the hoe phase, like it feels lonely. It really does. And it doesn't make you feel more confident about yourself after a one night stand, I don't
That's
think.
good to know.
Yeah,
'cause
some
I've
people
always-
are players, but like not everybody.
yeah, I think I definitely know guy friends that like they'll never settle down. They've already made it clear that they're always gonna be a bachelor for life, and they definitely want to like chase tail every single
And they're like the
weekend.
loneliest men we know.
True.
Yeah,
The
Yeah,
saddest
those
ones.
are always the kind of guys that are like, "What are you guys up to this weekend? You want to hang out?" Because
Yeah.
But that's how they get their energy, though,
Yeah.
right? Like, so I don't think I could knock them either for like, oh, you're not gonna ever find happiness if you're gonna be lonely for the rest of your life. But I think
I'm not
they
saying
enjoy
that
the
because
chase.
of that they're like that. I'm just saying that's a coincidence.
I'll say it for you.
What?
That because of that they're like that. Only because I've seen a lot of that, man, with dudes, and I'm sure some guys can make it work. But I've never felt lower, probably ever, than having a one night stand and then the next day being like, "Dang, I'm not into this chick." You know what I'm saying? And then I tried to make it like a thing for like a couple weeks.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't sticking. I could not develop feelings for this person.
So what? Because between like a one night stand and someone that you wifed up, what made you not into that girl but into me?
I think it was she. I don't know, man. Like you are fun and funny, and
Thank you.
when you have a take on something, it's interesting. And this individual did not. You know what I'm
was
saying?
boring.
She was, just very surface level conversations. Nothing that went too deep.
Yeah.
And that's not fun for me. I like to really explore things and I like to hear different perspectives and not just people regurgitating what I'm saying.
Right.
You
Yeah.
like being challenged.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stimulated.
Yes, it's very stimulating.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then I also wonder too, like, what's the case for most guys? Like, do most guys, like, I don't know, because since you guys have the male mind and you have other male friends, like, do you guys actually talk about things like this? Because girls do. Like, we talk about what we look for in men, but
And we
you
have all
guys-
different tastes and styles
Yeah,
and stuff.
exactly.
But yeah, I'm curious with guys.
With my boys, we do. We talk about this stuff.
We talk about relationships
We go
and stuff
deep,
all
dude.
the time. Yeah.
You know, when we all are together, me, Joe, Barton, Case, we like check in with each other too. Like it's really helpful, especially if you're going to be creative together. It's helpful to like kind of
connect.
connect, just so that you can be like get all that stuff out so that you can then be creative after. And so it's great to do that. And I recommend it to all guys out there to check in with each other. I know girls do it much easier.
Yeah.
Typically.
It's a little bit more difficult, I've heard, for men to open up because a lot of men weren't raised to open up. when they
Yeah.
were
That's
younger.
true. You know,
Especially culturally.
As a friend group, once Steve was injected into our guy circle, like we were a lot more emotional than we ever been. Like I think with like me, Bart, and Joe specifically, like we've never really opened up about relationships as much until you came in. But it wasn't. It was weird too. It's like it's not like we had locker room talk all the time either, where we're talking about chicks and tits and things like that.
just
It
felt
was just
like,
like
Math.
Oh,
We just-
relationship problems are just we just won't talk
anything
about
to
it.
do with
Yeah.
girls was just kind of like, nah, it's like some bitch shit, you know. And let's talk about, oh, did you see the fight, or did you see this, or like, oh, what'd you make? You make that steak? Oh, yeah, it was good, huh? Yeah, and that's all we ever
This is
talked
very
about.
true, by the way.
It
Yeah,
is.
and,
It's
and we
accurate.
still talk about that. But
Yeah.
then once Steve came into the friend circle, yeah, we opened up a lot more, and we're like all like sensitive now, and we're all like talking feelings and
I brought
stuff.
that bitch energy that I think.
Right.
Totally
I was gonna
do
say
that.
he pussified you guys.
I think I'm good at that.
Wonderful. Well, I mean,
He helps
you
you
know,
be vulnerable.
it helps with your relationships too. Like
It does.
interpersonally, I know that like the running theme from the couples was like relationships take so much work and work and work and work, and then we realized that you guys, like there was a lack of vulnerability and opening up, and like
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not because
That's
you
why it
didn't
was hard
want to,
work.
but maybe because you didn't know how.
You don't know
Yeah.
how, and you don't think it's sexy. It's not cool
It's not
to do.
manly.
It's not manly. But I think it's the same for women too. I feel like there's like this weird like social thing that it's like you don't want to be vulnerable. I think that's the word. It's not necessarily not sexy, but it's just you don't want to be vulnerable. And then when the moment you're vulnerable, like you're, I don't know. It's
You're seen
just-
as weak.
You
Yeah,
feel
you're seen
like
as weak,
the
yeah.
women won't think you can protect her anymore or something like that.
Exactly. Exactly.
Or I get what you're saying too on the women's side, because then if we're being vulnerable and like really telling you what we're thinking, I'm talking about the girls that end up being very passive aggressive, like these kind of women. You're talking about that kind of women.
Sure. Yeah.
Like how they just can't even open up, and
Or
so
like,
instead
yeah, like
they'll
there's
nag
like an
about
idea
something.
that like men don't want vulnerable women either. Like just don't complain about anything. Don't
Oh,
tell me
right.
about your life. Just shut up, basically.
Yeah, she's whining. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So like I think on both aspects of both genders, I think we each have our own reasons why we don't want to be vulnerable, and I think that I think hinders a lot of people.
Well, there's
in
a
this
lot
day.
of people who also do that whole thing where it's like, I don't want to deal with your shit. I
Yeah,
got
right.
enough shit. I don't want to deal with your shit.
Yeah.
Like, come on, figure your stuff out, whatever.
Which is so backwards because understanding your partner on a deeper level and like what their language is and the way they process emotions is so important to communication.
It is.
Because then when you do have an issue, you're able to communicate to your partner the way that they understand it, the way that they process things.
It's more
and solve
harmonious
it.
and like it actually like a symbiote.
Symbiotic?
Yeah, that. I couldn't say it. But
I
yeah.
just thought of the movie Venom when you said
thought
that.
Symbiote.
Venom?
Symbiote. Yeah.
Yeah.
Simba?
Very cool.
Yeah,
Simba.
not thinking Lion King. But yeah,
an
that's what I mean.
antihero.
Like it works
Yes.
together. But yeah, that's what I mean. Like it works together. Like because without communication or vulnerability, then there's no way the other person will even get to know you. And you know what I've realized recently for myself is that I didn't know myself very well, and so how could I like put myself out there for our marriage and stuff if I don't even know who I am or even like love and respect myself, and like how do I expect you to do the same to me? So that to me has been like a lot of self-discovery where I feel like it's helped our marriage a lot.
And that's hard work to do
True.
inside of a marriage already. When you're already
Yeah.
inside of a marriage, you're like, now I'm going to try to find myself.
Not just a
Yeah.
marriage, but a family.
Yeah,
Because
that's
you have a
true.
child too. Yeah.
That's hard
right.
stuff,
True.
dude.
Yeah, when you're
know.
already a wife and a mother, and then you're like, I think I should figure out who I am. That's tough.
Yeah,
For sure.
backwards.
But I'm so proud of you because you
Thanks.
really have done a lot of self-discovery.
Thank you.
And like I see this like brand new glowing
Tiffasons.
person that's like,
Yeah, Steve's
wow. Yeah,
The
Tiffasons.
Tiffasons has been, it's been immaculate.
Tiffany's.
Yeah, a lot of epiphanies.
But yeah, I think it's so important, and I wish like everything that I am learning now, if I could have known that before even entering such a serious like long term like a marriage, because this is the type of work that needs to be done before you commit, like because our road has been bumpy as hell.
It
That's
certainly
true.
would be ideal, but I feel like better late than never.
For sure,
You know, like
for sure.
good thing that you understand that and you're like working on it. So
Right.
that's awesome. And then you
Because
guys
you
can
guys
work
figured that out in the
together.
first year.
Well, I have had the, I guess, advantage of always being kind of a loner. So I, used to stay at home alone, and then I lived alone for 3 years of like, I don't want to date, I mean, I don't want to be in a relationship. I want to figure it out, and I want to live alone. I want to have my own happiness in my own life. And it's always during those times when you get locked down into the marriage, the relationship that you're going to end
True.
up marrying.
That's what happened to me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I
Really?
swore. I was like, love is a cold dead lie told by thieves. I'm never going to date. I'm never going to marry anybody. I don't give a fuck. And then I was with Nikki within like 9 days of that.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's true. The same for us. It's like we were both trying to hoe it out. I
Yeah, we
think,
were.
And we were like, we're gonna be a fling. Don't get too close.
You know what it is?
And
I
we
think
ended
it's
up marrying each
confidence.
other. Yeah.
That might be it, is that like, oh, I'm good on my own. Like, I
Yeah.
don't need a relationship to keep me happy. And then it's sexy
That's when
when
it
it's
comes
like,
on.
wow, you're really independent. You really got your shit together. I want to be with that. And that's when the person that you're going to be with ends up walking into your life.
Yeah, it's
That's
like when the
true.
universe is like, okay, now you're ready. Here you go.
Yeah. You just have to make sure that you allow the right person in, because if they don't have their shit together and they're
Yeah.
just attracted to that you've got your shit together, they're going to drag you down. And I think that the timing was right for us, at least.
Yes. But then you also were extremely dope because we were both going through breakups, but you had like an 8-month leg up
Yeah.
on me. And so I had just come out of one, and I was, this is something that sounds lame, but it was very true. I missed my dog, man. I lost my dog in the breakup, and I love that dog, and that was a toughie because I knew, there's some people who do this, like we can share custody of the animal or whatever. I couldn't do that. It was too much. Like I have to see this person to see the dog, so
Yeah.
it was just like clean break, goodbye, see ya,
You're
and no
don't-
goodbye either. Like no like moment of like I'm having my goodbye
no
moment.
closure.
I can't do that. I had to just deuce it.
That's
out.
rough.
Yeah,
That's rough.
So that was hard, and I didn't even really face that I was going through that until probably 6 months later. I remember Nikki got it out of me because I didn't even know. Like
Yeah.
I knew that I missed the dog, but I didn't know that was such a big deal.
He was just upset all the time, and like he would blame it on other things, like, oh, it's trafficking. Oh, like I have work to do. Like whatever, but it was like a deep
Yeah.
upsetness, and we really had to like dig for that one.
Yeah.
But one thing that you learn when you're alone is, what smells nice
Hygiene.
to you. Hygiene.
Yeah,
Taking
just
care
learning
of
how
yourself.
to take care of yourself.
And what better way than an organic deodorant?
Exactly.
Not that other antiperspirant stuff that's going to get into your armpit and
Right.
cause some harm to your body.
Yeah, so that's why you gotta check out Native. So it's safe, it's formulated without aluminum, parabens, or talc. It's also vegan, and it's never, ever tested on animals. So it's made with ingredients that you've actually heard of, like coconut oil and shea butter. And it actually works. So it's a really great deodorant, and it also smells
It smells so
amazing.
good.
It smells delicious. Look, this one that we have right here is lavender and rose. Look at that. Smell that. Oh, it smells so good.
It smells so good. It smells like a candle.
Can I get hit?
Yeah. So they have.
Can I get it?
You could literally smell like your favorite candle.
Yeah. So they have with over
Oh, yeah.
10 cents. Like, like not money, but like cents.
If I smelled like that, would you want to bone more?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
All right, get a room.
Well, I will be smelling like
Jesus.
that
They
later.
should make native candles. Dang, that was a good smell.
But yeah, they even have classics and rotating seasonals, so you can be guaranteed that you will find what you love. And so, oh man, I can't stop smelling this. They also have it for men, if you guys are interested.
I would wear that scent right there.
Yeah, so
Smells good.
yeah, men, women, even teens. So, as of right now, you can get 20% off your first purchase by visiting nativedeodorant.com and using promo code BIGMOOD during your
Mood.
checkout. So, again, that's 20% off your first purchase. Visit nativedeodorant.com and use promo code BIGMOOD during checkout. This is a big mood.
It is a big mood.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, this is I could clearly say this is my favorite scent. It smells so delicious.
What scent is it?
It's
Lavender
the
and rose?
lavender and rose. Yeah.
That's a good one. All right. Well, make sure you wear that. Make sure you wear some deodorant when you're going on dates. Let's talk about that part for a little bit. Like, how was your dating experience?
It was good. I just, when you said about boning and deodorant, I was like, do people ever put deodorant in their taint area,
Wow.
like between
Yes.
their thighs and stuff?
Yes.
Because I used to do that when I was younger, but I'd never asked my partners if
They like
that
that.
ever paid off or like if it was more enjoyable down
Probably
there.
did.
If it paid off.
You honestly, I think we
Hey,
only
like,
notice
did
when
you-
it's.
Would you
when
like
when I was jackhammering you, did you notice anything?
We were 69ing.
I mean, it's more of the
more the-
blowjob
yeah.
part.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
I
like,
see.
was that more enjoyable? Did it smell good down there?
Hey, we
you
should
know?
try that.
Yeah?
I wonder if it actually, because now I'm curious.
Steve does
True.
wash his dick before anything happens.
Always.
That's good.
And he has a delightful smelling body
Thank
gel,
you very
but whatever
much.
shower gel
Thank you.
that you
Very
use.
nice.
I think I've only noticed if someone didn't smell good.
Yeah.
That is what you don't want to
That's
happen.
apparent.
Exactly.
true.
And
That's
it
true.
very much sticks with you,
Oh, yeah.
and it taints the relationship, if you will.
True. True. I mean, it shortens every step of the way up until sex, right? Because it's just you don't want to be down
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
That's true.
It's pretty nasty.
Have you ever been down there?
Ball smell.
And
Ooh.
have you ever been down there and the area is not groomed whatsoever in any way at all? Like it's a secret garden down there?
He doesn't mind that. He's fucking nasty. He doesn't.
Whoa, what a skis.
You're just
Hold on a second. Like,
Okay, nasty and
totally
like a-
ungroomed.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's a different. I don't
had-
think I've ever experienced that.
No,
I
because
had-
like the reason why I'm saying that, and not nasty like throwing you under the bus. It's kind of like you're kinky like that, like where you
Oh yeah,
you
I like doing some crazy
to get
shit
nasty.
sometimes.
yeah, like
that's
sometimes
true.
like I won't shower for a couple days, and then he likes that.
It's the pheromones I'm
pheromones
after.
get
I'm after
very
the
strong.
pheromones, and the
Cool.
pheromones are stronger than the whatever. But you don't even have BO though. Like I don't ever smell like anything that's
Oniony?
unsavory to me. Yeah, it's like it's always it smells sweet.
You always say it's strawberry milkshake.
Yes, or
or ice
strawberry.
cream.
Yeah, melted strawberry ice
That's
cream.
Nikki's
That's
sweat,
specific.
man. Nikki's sweat is literally sweet.
Yeah, right.
Didn't you call me a Glade plug-in on
Yes.
JK News?
You are.
Yeah.
No, because
That's funny.
I don't know any time that you smell bad. And she's always like, oh, I forgot to put on deodorant today or whatever. And she'll like do that whole thing where she's like, oh, I forgot to put on deodorant. And I'm like, I can't smell you at all. Like, it smells pleasant in here.
That's true.
Well, you know, they
cute.
say like when you are turned on by the person's natural scent, like that's your chemistry is supposed to really work
Yeah.
together. Like if you're turned off by that, you might have a relative in your bloodline. Like it might be some sort of like
innate.
same gene pool that you're not supposed to mate with.
Oh, is that how that works?
Yeah, like
Oh,
it's to
interesting.
protect you naturally.
What about the incest people? They just don't smell it.
I don't
They
know.
like the smell, maybe.
I don't know. Maybe they don't care.
Maybe people that
Maybe
are
it
related
smells
to
like
they're
their house.
Ew, it smells. And then their brother or sister, they're like,
Because I had a guy
Ew.
that I dated for a little bit, and he was very physically attractive on the outside, like traditionally physically attractive. Like
we get it. Move
he
on.
was tan, he was tall, he was
He doesn't like
muscly, but he smelled like sour milk, and I couldn't get over it. And
Please go on.
And I think it's just like, to me, he smelled like sour milk, but maybe if he met someone that he was supposed to mate with, like he
Maybe
wouldn't
you guys
smell.
were related somehow.
Yeah, because he was the only half Filipino guy that I dated.
Oh, there you go.
So
Maybe it's something he was eating. Because like I think for me,
Could
like
be.
I create scents that
Yeah.
Tiff really, really hates.
I hate
And it's when I eat like extra
garlic.
onion or extra garlic, kimchi, like
Ginger,
at the
kimchi.
Korean barbecue. She doesn't smell the Korean barbecue like that smoke flavor. She smells more of the kimchi, garlicky, like
Because like,
smell.
and then it's not the actual food. Because like those foods alone, I like the way they smell. But then it's like the way it's processed out of your pores. I'm just like, oh my gosh, we need to do something about this.
True.
But
You're
your
not the
actual pheromones, though, I love.
Oh, thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
they
You're not the
smell
first
really
girl to point that out, though. It's like I was with, I was dating another
Damn,
girl
I
before.
wasn't the only one in your life.
that pointed out my nasty garlic.
Yeah,
and
they
onions.
pointed out the nastiness.
It's
yes.
old hat. Okay?
But yeah, but they pointed out the kimchi smell too. It's like so it's not like you're the only one.
Because I always
to-
thought maybe it was like the cultural thing.
Yeah.
Like, you know, maybe if you dated another Asian girl, she wouldn't mind. And because I'm Mexican,
I
maybe
think
that
kimchi
could
smells no matter who he is.
True.
I don't know.
If you're like, yeah, because the Mexican guys don't mind if I smell like beans.
be some lime.
Rice.
kimchi is universally
Some
known
sopas.
as a smelly thing that is also kind of delicious.
Yeah, true.
Do you
I
like
mean,
kimchi?
No.
Because I've never seen you eat kimchi. That's why.
I don't like kimchi, but I also know that you guys love it, and I know that
I love it.
Nikki
Yeah, I
loves
like
it.
it.
Yeah, I mean, it was an acquired taste for sure. Like where at first when I tried it, I was like, ugh, and then I was like, I kind of am craving that again though. And you mix it with like fried rice or like,
Yeah,
you know,
kimchi fried
something like
rice.
something else. You don't just eat it plain. You just like you put it on
Wasn't
something.
that
I don't
like
like
the
cold
first thing
soup.
you ever made me? Kimchi fried rice? I think
yeah,
that was.
I think
don't
so.
know.
It's meant to be more like a sauce, I think.
I know, but it's cold. I don't like cold soup.
It doesn't have to be
or
cold if you
things.
put it in fried rice.
Yeah, it's a
Not a
texture
fan.
thing for me.
True.
I'm not into it.
All right, let's talk about other things you're not into, like your turn-offs in when you were dating, when you were in that dating world, or in previous relationships that made you think like this isn't going to be marriage.
I thought, well, first of all, I am I'm not even bragging about myself here. I'm just like one of those romantic dudes, right? I like that
You are.
shit. Okay. So when I am in something early, I get excited and I'm like, oh yeah, we'll go the distance. We can do this shit, like all that kind of stuff, right? But then, like, as the relationship goes on, you start to notice things, but I would lacquer over those things with positive feelings anyway.
And the projection of like the perfect, like the end
What
game.
I wanted this
Yeah.
person to be was what I was trying to do touch-ups on, like almost daily, right?
Like if this part, if we just fix this part, then it would be perfect still.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, if we just fix this part and this part, then it'd be perfect still.
But it got to the point where I would take a deep breath before walking through my own door. You know what I'm saying? Like to see this person
Because you live together.
because we live together.
Yeah.
So, and then it became like one of those things where I was like, okay, I'm pretty miserable when we're together, and we don't she doesn't open up or talk about interesting things at all. So or about herself or about there's no depth there. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll just try watching all of the things that she likes. So I was like, hey, let's just treat this. And this is like before I knew what a Nikki relationship could be like. I was like, okay, relationships are work. I'm going to put in the work right now. Whatever you would do if I wasn't here, you do it, and I'll just experience it with you because I'm here right now. And so they would watch their show, like whatever it was. There was one called Skins.
You sound
wasn't
like
into
you're having flashbacks.
I wasn't into that show either.
Listen, I wasn't into the show. I did not like
I
it.
never watched it.
It was very it's not for me.
Okay.
I know there's some Skins fans out there.
You're gonna offend a lot of Skins fans out there.
It's
This
not
is
not my
hot
kind of
take,
show. Okay.
controversial episode.
So I'm like, man, this is just misery. Like our tastes do not align. And then like even like the things that she thought was funny, I didn't think was funny.
So you weren't a match.
No, it wasn't a match.
You
But-
kind of were just like, oh, this person's perfect, and we're
Oh
we're
no, am I
projecting.
talking about you right now?
Oh
No,
no.
it's because like I just couldn't help but notice. But Casey was just like,
I mean, you're just talking
he was,
about
like,
this boring
staring into
person,
the
so I was
void.
getting bored too. So I was just like,
Right.
oh, yeah, Skins.
She's that bad. It was that bad.
That's pretty bad. Pretty bad.
Yeah. So that's when you know, if not for thankfully this person cheating on me, I would have never let go.
wow.
I would have latched onto this person and made that shit work because I thought relationships would work and that you had to put in the work or you're quitting.
You know what I recently found? This triangle thing that I posted on my stories recently. I forgot the other ones, but there's this one corner. Like if you're only in one corner and not doing all three, then it's bad, right? On each corner. And one corner is commitment only. You end up having empty love.
Yeah, it was a triangle of commitment,
Intimacy,
passion, and
passion.
liking or intimacy.
Yeah. So
and if you can
that just
have
popped
all
in my
three
head.
of those in one relationship, then it's a pretty good relationship.
That
But
makes
if
so
you
much sense.
on
Right.
one end of the spectrum, or only two out of the three, like it creates a
disconnect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if it's passion only, it's infatuation. If it's intimacy only, it's just liking them.
like
or
almost
something.
like more like a
Lust.
friend than it is like
Yeah,
a
like a
partner.
friend.
And then if you're only on the commitment side, then it just becomes like a kind of like
Empty.
a family member
And
now.
that's what it is.
Yeah.
And so I was a committed ass ride or die bitch. And so I didn't know what a relationship could be like yet. I just knew what everyone said, which is that everything's work, work, work. And I saw my parents' own marriage not being like the most kick-ass shit on the earth. And so I was like, okay, you have to suffer.
And the way the sitcoms portray marriages
Yeah.
too are like,
Right.
there's always a bitchy wife and the husband's dumb, you know.
Yeah.
And they make it work.
Yeah. They get into fights and they make it work.
So then when I go, Nikki, we had a rocky start.
We did, but we were projecting a lot of our old relationships onto each other because we had a very similar past where it was like, okay, for me it was like I'm also a romantic, and like we're the same type of romantic. We were like fucking trying to impress the shit out of each other when we first got together. But in my past relationships, I was always more romantic than them, and I felt like it would. I got to the point where I was like, okay. There's always going to be one person that's more romantic, that's more the chaser, and I'm that person. Like, I'm just always going to be the one that's the more romantic person because I've never met a match that like reciprocated that part. And so I think when we got together, we were both like romantic and impressing each other, but we also projected the other parts like, well, I'm going to be I was like, well, I'm obviously more in love with him than he is with me, and he probably felt the same way, and it just caused a lot of turmoil because we were projecting our old relationships.
Yes.
That makes sense.
And so but as we dug through that stuff and
Yeah.
figured out it wasn't really about each other, that's when we understood each other, and having that mutual understanding meet like the love language connection thing is like rocket fuel for a relationship. Like we have the best relationship I've ever had in my life, and it only gets better. I only love her more now.
Yeah.
I was just we were just on our podcast the other day.
Should they don't tell you, you can check that out.
Thank you. And,
After this one.
and
Shameless plug.
honestly, like when I look at our own wedding photos, I'm like, wow, I love her more now than I did then, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Like that's
How cute.
wild.
Yeah, we could say the same too.
Yeah,
I feel like
I could totally say that.
absolutely.
Yeah. So that's a hard thing I don't think a lot of people get there.
Yeah.
And I think it's such a good
comes
feeling.
with like growth too and understanding, and like the more you get to know this person, the more you can get to fall in love with this person.
And I think there's like a notion that out there that seems to be a very popular consensus that once you get married, it's just the passion goes away. Yeah, it becomes work. It's like a job, you know, like
Yeah.
you just have to make it work. But it doesn't have to be that way. Our passion got incredibly higher after marriage, and I think because we became even more of a team. And
you know what I think it is? I think you guys have been putting in the work, but you don't see it as work. It's like
Yeah.
it's like when
You guys have
you
fun
love
as
what
we have
you
so much fun.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like when you love what you do for a living, you don't feel like you actually work a day in your life. It's like that in your relationship because you guys are getting to know each other and you love that the work that you're putting into getting to know each other.
Yeah, it's like I was just on JK News, shout out. And we were talking about how I just got to hang out with my best friend in a beautiful place we'd never been to before in the Bahamas, and that's what makes it so much more fun. And that's all it is. I'm just
We love
traveling.
people watching together. We love like discovering new places and being like, well, that was shit. Like when people are hyping something up and we both look at each other like, are you into this?
Dude, and not even just that, but like if we're both, say we were on a cruise or something, which we've done. We both look at each other at the same time and we're like, we're over this shit. Like we just have the same, like, I don't know, the same fuse.
Same
And you know
wavelength.
what else we have is the same smile together.
Oh,
we
yeah,
like
you
to
guys
smile
do
at each other.
have a great smile.
And exchange glances, and then we know. And I had to get my smile through old school braces. And it took freaking years. They were ugly. They were in everyone's faces. I had to have rubber bands. Now there's a much easier system in place.
Yeah.
It was all transition,
Handed.
Casey.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
No,
that
that
was.
smile thing was a transition.
It was
how
great.
I love
she used me?
smiling at you. But this year you could straighten your teeth. You could do it a much easier way with Candid's clear aligners.
Yeah.
Which, unlike braces, they're comfortable, removable, and totally invisible. So you can transform your smile without anyone noticing a thing.
And you don't have to step foot in a doctor's office because you could do all this from home.
Love that,
This is awesome.
dude. Getting the X-rays at the orthodontist. Oh my god!
You know
it's
what's the
just-
thing that I hated the most? That nasty gooey thing
Yes.
that you put in your mouth. Well, Candid, they actually do this thing where you mix the putties together and it ends up being, it's not like a sticky, like gooey kind of thing that's disgusting to put in your mouth. It's like this really nice, firm kind of putty kind of thing. And that's how you get your impressions.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
doing yourself.
they're actually 65% less than braces too, which is
Nice.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
tight.
I know,
Yeah.
right?
I love a deal.
Save 65% on getting a nice smile, and you don't have to go to a doctor's office.
Right.
And Candid only works with orthodontists. They never work with general dentists. So that means your treatment will be designed by an expert in tooth movement with 20 years of experience on average. And if there's like a special event coming up, the average treatment length is just 6 months. So if you have a wedding coming up this
Yeah.
year, or some sort of like a big birthday party somewhere where you're going to take a lot of photos, your teeth will be ready and you'll start seeing results way before then.
Yeah, that's actually what I did right before our wedding.
Yeah?
I signed up to get clear aligners. And it was like in 6 months, done.
And your teeth look incredible.
Dang.
Yeah.
They look uncredible too.
Well, yeah, because I wasn't good about wearing the retainers, and now I'm doing them again.
Shut up.
Jeez,
What?
Steve.
what you said.
Incredible. I said incredible. My voice is slowly coming back from
Oh, I was just
bronchitis.
having you back.
Excuse me.
They look incredible.
Excuse me. You're a dick. The website is also super easy to use. I went on there. I was like, I wish this was in place when I was in high school because I
Nice.
never would have had to wear those dumb braces for so
True.
long. Half my high school career, I had braces. Ugh. I'm still bitter about it. Yeah. So you can learn more about Candid's process and get a complimentary 3D scan of your teeth at a Candid studio near you. It's the simplest, freest way to get started. So if you're ready to take the first step, for a limited time, you can get started with $75 off.
Ooh.
It's a hell of a lot of money by using code MOOD at candidco.com/mood. That's candidco.com/mood. Use code MOOD for $75 off. candidco.com/mood. Code MOOD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I
Strain
did
those
high
teeth.
school.
You're uncredible, fucker.
Well, how was your high school career?
It was not great.
I did a
Honestly,
high school.
It
I
was
did
a
high
starting
school
job.
on campaign mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
On campaign?
You wouldn't get it because you don't play games.
I don't. Sorry.
Hell yeah, Casey. Hell
I
yeah.
don't-
Guys,
yeah.
Leave 'em hanging.
guys,
Men, dude stuff.
guys.
Now you're gonna go cry and have emotions?
Nope.
Because that's what you bring to the group.
Absolutely
The
not.
dudes group.
You'll see.
He's
No,
the
that
bitch of the
pussy's
group.
because of you, dude. What happened?
Right? My pussy energy.
No, but you know what? Nikki got to ask this to Steve, and I didn't get to ask you, Casey, though. But what was it then that you decided about me to pursue me to get for us to have a long-term relationship? Because like you said, we were trying to do a fling thing. I think you were seeing someone else too. But then what was it between like me and like the sea of women?
Yeah, I think for me it was like I spent a couple of years like the girlfriend, the long-term girlfriend before you, I think she was like trying to be in the industry and like modeling and all these things, and then like after her, like in the transition phase, and like I don't know. Even like before that girlfriend too, it's like I was just more like, oh, I'm trying to be a filmmaker, photographer, like whatever. Like I was just like trying to get like the access to girls were always kind of like they're also in the entertainment thing. Like they were always trying to be in the showbiz, and that brings a certain. Like a different kind of direction in the relationship too. There's like this work
network and
and like,
do
and
all
like,
this like fake stuff.
Yeah, I could benefit from you being in my life if we work together.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Oh,
And there's
yeah. I
like-
remember you were dating like a singer or something, and then like she would just use you for music videos.
Yeah, exactly. Like there was just like I can build a portfolio. You know, and if you know any producers or like like there was like a lot of this kind of like
Did you like
networking
her
thing.
music? That's the worst, isn't it?
So that's
That's the
funny.
worst.
So you're like, I'll choose someone that's not in the entertainment
Yeah, is that
industry.
what it was?
You were the first person I started seeing that wasn't in the entertainment business, didn't want to be in it. And
then you ended up here.
yeah,
True,
yeah,
you
you're in the
forced me.
I dragged you in.
so
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. Well, to give some context for those of you that don't know, I was working in a hospital when we met. So completely different career.
Yeah, and I think the fact that you're a mom too, I think was something that was subconsciously very sexy about that, because I
Oh.
think it was very comforting to meet someone that had that liked the home life, or like that had a home life. You know, I
Yeah.
think everyone else that you meet, and especially in the early 20s, like everyone's trying to go out every night, trying to network, trying to have fun, get fucked up, fuck, and then do it all over again. And I don't know.
She came with a turnkey home life.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
And you were
With a kid and everything.
You were a
Yeah.
double nurturer then, because your whole work, you're like nurturing people. It's like sick patients and things. You're like at a hospital, and then you come home and you're nurturing a kid.
True. Well, I
Yeah.
didn't work with patients, but yeah,
Oh, okay.
it does have that image.
That vibe.
But it's that nurture though, I think that was really, really enticing for me, and like it just felt way more comfortable to open up to you. I think like I think with the other people it was like, oh, I still need to keep my like industry face on, and like we're all cool, we're all too cool to really be vulnerable. And I
Yeah.
think with you it's just like having a kid, and like I don't know, there's like this comfort in knowing that you're on that program of trying to settle down, even though you say you weren't, but like it just
Yeah,
felt
I
more
actually
comfortable.
wasn't. I was just like, listen, I just got out of an insanely serious relationship a month ago.
About as serious as it gets, I'd say.
Yeah, like engaged serious. And then so I was just like, listen, no. But then you kept pursuing, and I couldn't deny my feelings either. So I'm like, damn it. Fuck, how did I
trapped
fall
you.
in love? Jeez.
Oh geez.
Oh, geez.
Rick. So for the single folk out there that might be looking to date and they're like, I'm ready to settle down and get a serious relationship, what are some of the things that were like the biggest turnoffs? Like I know you spoke a little bit about the bush, Steve,
Oh, right.
It's true.
and then but it was like a wiry, unkempt.
You know, I heard it's kind of coming
Situation's
a mess.
back.
Yeah, I heard
Is
that
it?
too.
Listen,
No way.
listen.
This is
I'm
for you,
talking
listen,
about
Linda.
an unkempt disaster area like Chewbacca.
Yeah.
Not just that,
Why do
but
you
like
say it
toilet
like that?
paper and stuff. Like just too
You ever
much.
see Star Wars?
Yes.
You know who Chewbacca is?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, so it's like that. Not like Chewie kept it nice and neat.
I don't think he did. Yeah.
No, he did not.
He looks combed and
So it's
he's
kind of
going
like
to-
You're very
like,
kind,
up
Casey.
top. Yeah.
Kinda
You're
like
clearly a
for-
freak.
kind of like Forrest Gump's beard when he was running
Yes.
through the country.
Kind of like
Unkept.
how about Tom Hanks in Castaway?
Oh yeah.
Are there any
Just all over.
Are there any character traits or personality traits?
Yeah,
that,
that's
like
so
when you're on a date.
surface.
Yeah,
I'm mostly just into Bush or the lack
I
thereof.
see. I see.
The lack thereof.
No, yeah, of course.
Well,
Char-
you did mention how for you were attracted to her being able to go deep, like in conversations and
Yeah,
open up.
and we were friends already, and that helped a lot too. Like being
True.
friends with
Being
her
best friends.
made me. Well, we weren't best friends yet,
No.
but now.
But now we are.
But we were
Wow.
just.
I was ready to be best friends immediately.
No, I'm saying we were friends already, right? And so
Yeah, yeah.
going into it, we had like cheat codes almost. It was like,
Yeah.
Oh, you guys knew each other for a longer time.
And that helped a
prior.
lot.
Yeah, it did. That's true. Because our first
It's like a
date,
head
we didn't
start.
have any awkwardness.
Oh
we
my
just
God.
jumped right into like hanging out, conversation. Like we just got to have deeper conversations.
yeah,
That's
and that
tight.
was what's fun about it, right? And like the more we uncovered, it's like, oh, this is my favorite sketch of all time. Oh,
Yeah, that's mine too.
I love
Let me
that
show you
one.
my sketch. Yeah.
Exactly. So we
Not our own sketches, but like SNL sketches.
people's.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
we had our favorites. Key and
imagine
Peele
just we're
and
showing each
SNL.
other our videos.
Yeah, that would be
Holy
so
shit.
cringe.
We see that's what I'm saying though. Some people are like that.
Yeah.
I've been
We
with
have
people like
friends
that.
that were like
I've
that,
been
yeah.
with people during holidays and they pull up their own videos on
Whoa.
TV and it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
no, please get me out of here.
Yep.
So we're both not like that, and
Yeah.
that's part of it too, right? Like finding your
interests.
match. Like I know a lot of Hollywoodish climber people, and they can't wait to put on their own videos, and their partner's like, "Yeah, this is the best," and good for them. They can go be happy in their little bubble together. Just I don't want to hang out.
Yeah, I think it is. It is very much like common interests and love languages.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I've found to be something to look out for. Because
Yeah, it's
when
true.
people don't have the same love language, it doesn't matter what their common interests are anymore. Like after a
True.
while, they cannot speak the same language on a deeper level.
And they're just constantly disappointed with each other, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, and they're not even meaning to. It's
Right.
like I could do something that's nice for you, but that's not nice in your love language. So therefore,
So it goes in one ear and out the other to me.
and so that it's
True.
not appreciated.
Yeah, I did have an ex that was the love language he showed me for love, which I didn't get till after we broke up, was gift giving, and I didn't give a fuck about gifts. Like, I mean, when you think of someone and it's nice. Like, I wasn't like, oh
Yeah.
fuck your gift,
Yeah.
but like it's nice. I was like, oh, that's really nice, and that's all it went to. Like, it didn't go deep in my heart. Like
this
wow,
is
he
showing
really
that he
loves
loves
me.
me.
It was just
Yeah.
like, oh, that was thoughtful of him. And so I would always be confused in fights when he's like, I do everything to show you that I love you and you don't see it that way. But this dude never spent time with me, and my love language was quality time. So I was like, you never show me love. I feel like you don't even like me.
Yeah.
And so we'd always fight about that, and it didn't become clear to me until I learned about love languages way later that like, oh, he did think he was showing me love because the
Yeah.
way he expressed it was so much different. Like, gifts is my bottom
Yeah,
love
I don't
language.
give. I don't get gift giving either. Like out of the 5 love languages,
Yeah.
I'm like, I look at that one, I'm like, that seems kind of, I don't know, like not too easy. You know, like,
Right.
you gotta spend a couple of dollars and buy something, and that some other person's
I don't
gonna
think
be
it's
happy.
just that. It's like
weird.
the
It's like
sentiment.
a token, yeah, a
Yeah.
sentimental thing.
It shows that you're thinking of them and that you
That's how they
listen to
receive
them,
it.
And that
right?
you're willing to
That's
spend
really
money
what it
on
is.
that.
Right,
You
that
listen
you're
to them.
listening.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you're making them feel important.
For all
That's
you
the way
gift
they do
lovers
it.
out there, I got your back from
Yeah,
this mean
we're not
bully.
dogging on those people, but to me it was just like, oh, that's thoughtful.
Yeah.
Done. Like in one ear out the other. It wasn't love to me. Like, it was
Dude,
just,
that's
oh,
actually
thoughtful.
what we recently have been discovering. That's what I'm saying. Like, we've been married for 2 years, almost 3 now, and now we're getting it.
But this is very mature.
Been
I mean,
together
that-
for
Yeah,
7.
totally.
Yeah, because like this whole we've been together for 7 years, almost 8, and this past year, so 2019 was a rough one.
The
but
roughest.
we got out of it, like with the light at the end of the tunnel
Good
kind of
for you
feeling.
guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, it really was about learning each other's languages, and because this whole time we were just like, why don't you listen, or like, why aren't you receiving this? And it was always like miscommunicated.
That's true. 'Cause
Miscommunication.
I'm an acts of service person. Like that's my love language, going outward. And then for you, it was
Quality time.
Quality
Yeah,
time, yeah.
quality
And
time.
so like. For me, it's like, well, I'm making dinner. I'm breakfast. Like coffee in the morning.
You're working your
And-
ass off to show
Yeah,
this
like-
woman
and,
that
like,
you love her.
It takes hours to do dinner. I'm like, come on, here we go. And then
Yeah.
like I'm like setting up. Like.
And then that whole time that you're away doing those things, I'm like, he's not spending any time with me. He doesn't love me.
Right.
Because it just
Yeah.
didn't register.
She's in the kitchen the whole time. We're never together.
So we never had time to do quality time.
Right. Or so then once we discovered each other's languages, like we were trying to do it. Like for you to receive love is words of affirmation. Words of
Yeah,
affirmation.
words of affirmation.
And so so I started noticing that you were also giving me that, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is the language. Like, how do I speak this language? It's like Chinese to me, which I tried learning and is really hard. Like, I don't know. I didn't know how to give that to you. And I guess right now we're still trying to figure it out. But
How do you make that adjustment? I find that so fascinating that now that you understand each other's languages, now you're trying to crack the code.
Well,
Yeah.
Steve, we'll
Is it
tell
just
you right
mindfulness?
after we
Okay.
tell them what shampoo they're using because I think it's very important to everyone's love language that we smell nice and
Yes.
feel
True.
nice
That's
and
very
are
That's the
taking care
universal
of
one, yeah.
That's
ourselves.
very true.
Exactly.
And Function of Beauty is actually the one I'm obsessed with. I've been obsessed with this for a year now. I love that it's all customized. Everything they do, like you get to go to the website and you take a little quiz
yeah,
on your
4-question
type.
quiz. It's so
Yes.
short, and then they get to know.
And I don't know about you, Tiff, but I never really took into consideration like hair type, like buying the right shampoo for
Yeah,
my hair type.
neither did I.
I didn't think about it that way, but yeah, they have you fill out the survey of like what your hair type is and what you're looking for in a shampoo, volume, anti-frizz, shine, whatever it is, and
Filler.
you fill it all out, and then you also get to pick the scent, which
Yeah.
is really awesome because they have really, really, really good scents. The one I picked was eucalyptus because it's so relaxing and de-stressing, and I found like in the shower I like to just de-stress
Yeah.
and have that.
And then if you're not into a dye or a fragrance, they also offer that without a dye or fragrance free.
yeah,
So,
but if you want
something
yours
for
to be
everyone.
colorful, it's cute.
It really is cute.
I
And-
picked a black one.
Oh, you did?
I like the
picked
black
teal.
sparkly one.
I picked the blue one
That's
to match
it
my
matches
hair.
your hair for your hair type. So live your best hair life in 2020. The internet's top-rated customized hair care brand with over 30,000 five-star customer reviews and counting. Curly, straight, natural process. They have every type of formula for every hair out there, and
And even for hair goals too.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
If you want, what do we want your hair to look like this year? What type of hair you want this
Yeah,
year?
or like if you're suffering from like split ends or like dry scalp or whatever, they try to help you out with all that.
Oh, and what's cute and a really nice touch is the products are so personalized. Your name is even printed on the bottle, so
That's
it says
super cute.
It says Function of Limo online.
Oh, you
I didn't
put
even-
Limo?
Yeah, I didn't even put Nikki. I just put Limo because I think that's it's like
cute.
Function of. It's like House of Limo.
Yeah.
Why didn't you put Greene?
Well, my first
on.
last name is Limo, so. Plus, Function of Beauty is vegan and cruelty free. They never use sulfates, parabens, phthalates. I don't know how to. They don't use that thing. Phthalates, mineral oils, or other harmful ingredients. And
Exactly.
to get started right now, you can go to functionofbeauty.com/big
Big mood.
to take your 4-part hair profile quiz and save 20% off your first order.
Wow.
Don't spend another minute on hair misery. Go to functionofbeauty.com/big mood to let them know that we sent you.
Yeah.
It's functionofbeauty.com/big.
Big mood.
So tell us how the fuck you got out of your love language situation.
Yeah.
How do you adjust that?
I don't know.
Is it mindfulness? Are you
It's-
like? Are you like?
Yeah.
Okay, right
Constant,
now
yeah.
I was gonna do this, but now I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, there's a lot of like being present. I think
Present,
for me
yeah.
right now, it's like I never used to like pick up on moments where we could have
the bids.
the bids.
We
yeah.
were never able to recognize the bids.
What's the
like,
bid?
Like a bid is like, like for example, him making me a coffee. Like that's a bid of love. Like he's
Okay.
like showing
He's
me.
offering,
Here you
yeah,
go.
us
and now
love.
now give me something back in return.
Well, it's not that
give me some words of
transactional.
affirmation here. That's the currency.
I click watch it now.
Or like appreciate it or something,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
recognizing it.
that person trying to show you love.
Yeah, but for me, it totally is like constantly being present because sometimes, like, even though we've been doing really great recently, like, sometimes I'll kind of get lazy or whatever it is. Like, I'm stuck in whatever it is I'm like thinking about, and like he'll come around and I'll revert to like my old ways, which were the toxic ways in our relationship, where like, because you're for Casey, it's really important to have like a pleasant tone, and so sometimes like if I'm thinking about something else, like I won't have that pleasant tone because I'm frustrated over like some work thing or whatever, and then I'll throw it at him and then he'll get upset, and then I'm like, oh wait, hold on, I caught myself, let's talk about that, that's not the intention. And so we've been learning how to use the muscle of communication and then understanding too. So
That's
giving
true.
the other person the benefit of the doubt that like, okay, well, that wasn't done out of malice or whatever it is. I think that's something that has shifted majorly in our marriage, because before we used to see each other as like enemies because we were so hurt from like past stuff.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
And then for me too, it's like just finding ways to have fun in our relationship was a big thing too. It's like I think for me, like having been together for 6 years, it was like, oh, I mean, let's just make this work, you know, like our lives are so intertwined with work and all these things. Like the idea of starting over doesn't seem like a good idea, so we're just gonna have to like stick it through till we die.
It's like being in that job that you hate
yeah,
because
so then you're
it's
like,
giving you
what's
some
functional? Yeah, what like the only idea of like happiness was just to make it work, and so then it's just like, what's functional? Okay, cool. I'll pick up the kid. You do that. I run this errand. Then did that, and then it's just like as long as it's functional, if it's working.
We just
on
had
paper,
the commitment part.
Yeah,
it was
then,
empty.
Then it seems like that's good enough. Yeah, but then we lacked.
You're like, we have a house with plumbing and electricity.
Yeah.
We're killing it.
Yeah, exactly.
We're surviving.
Yeah.
Like
There's a
we're
roof.
moving on
Yeah.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there we
we got
go.
the house now. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but we weren't having fun. Like we weren't like actually having conversations where we're like involved with each other, like and being present,
Connecting.
Yeah, like we weren't even looking at each other in
It
the
was
eye.
the structure of a house, but not a home.
Right.
Exactly.
How do you come to this kind of a monumental shift? Like, what is there a moment? Is there like a series of moments?
There was from the way I see it, it was a good year of a lot of work being done. So we're both going to therapy, reaching out to our friends and like talking to you guys, getting advice and like really understanding how we can view this relationship from a different perspective than what we were viewing it from. And then like learning how to stop doing the same dance. So for me personally, I don't think it was like this one like aha moment. It was a lot of like tiny little aha moments that built up to where we're at for me.
That's true. I think for me, it's exploring, being. I mean, I think it takes a lot of courage to like dig down into your past and like trying to analyze why you are the way you are. Because I think for a long time I've kind of never
Working from within.
Yeah, like
out.
it's like, so what? Like, you know, I grew up this way, and like, you know, like I have my head on straight. You know, I've gotten this far. You know, so like, you don't really take the time to think like, well, maybe there's like a trauma or like there's something darker from your past or a misunderstanding from your past
Yeah,
that really is
we've both
the
have
root
done that.
of
True.
of like what's going on in our relationship. You know, like something we've picked up from our parents or like, you know, certain social situations in the past that really caused the scar.
Yeah.
And you carry that hurt with you, but we don't ever want to revisit it though because it hurts so much, and so you
Right.
kind of just suppress it. You suppress it so you don't even never think to look there anymore. And
Right.
this year, I think I finally opened that book up and
We've
started
both
looking
been
at it.
forced to like face our own mirrors and be like, okay, so what's going on in there?
That's so awesome
Yeah.
and healthy that you guys are doing that. And I also don't think that you're completely to blame because I do think that our generation, at least, was not raised with like knowing about love languages or
That's
any
true.
of that. We had men are from Mars, women are from Venus,
Oh, yeah.
which basically says like, hey, you guys are from two different planets. You'll never like understand each
Right.
other.
That's true.
But yeah, like so knowing about love languages now, I feel like each generation has helped the next generation the best they could, but our parents were very much like, you got to make it work, marriage
did
is
it
work,
too
you know.
far.
Yeah, they were about the commitment part, which is great, but yeah, those other two were maybe not apparent in everybody's upbringing. And now that we have this new information and like the most current psychology and the way that people operate in relationships and what makes a healthy relationship, it's really nice for this next generation going forward
Yeah.
that you'll know about love languages. You'll be able to talk about that on dates. You'll be able
Exactly.
to open up and be vulnerable a lot earlier than maybe we were able to when we were
You know what's
dating
crazy?
in our young 20s.
I'm seeing a direct, like the direct effect because, you know, since we have Isaac, he's 11, about to be 12. And then this past year, like I've tried to be not like obviously like fully open, like, oh my God, you know, all of our problems, not like that crazy, but like just really surface things just so he's aware, like, hey, you know, daddy and I are kind of going through some stuff.
He can see it, so you're just
exactly.
calling it out.
We're calling
Feels
it
it,
out.
yeah.
So we're not
Yeah.
trying to treat him as like some
Right.
idiot that
Right.
can't see what's happening. So yeah, like we were very mindful of communicating with him and letting him see. And then also not just the bad stuff, but then once we were able to work things out, like now we don't hide our discussions anymore because it was brought to our attention, like, you know, you should, if he's seeing the ugly, he should also see how you resolve it.
Yes.
So then he can learn how to approach his interpersonal relationships and how to better communicate and like confront problems.
And that includes bringing family into your problems too, man. If you call your mom about how much your husband sucks or your boyfriend sucks, and they're not there for the resolution,
Right.
you just hurt your relationship.
Exactly.
Guess what? Because now the mom is going to remember that and isn't going to let it go because they weren't there for the fucking solution.
Right, and that's something
true.
that I've really realized a lot too. Because even just recently, like I hit up the girls, because like usually I'll vent to them and just tell them like, oh my god, even with you, like like
This was
my
going
friends that
on.
I reach out to
Yes.
for the bad. I've noticed like, oh my god, they need to know the good too, because then it's
They only know the
damaging-
bad. Yeah.
exactly. It's damaging all the relationships. So then I recently like hit up the girls and I told Casey too, and I'm like, yeah, I told them all the good stuff too.
Yeah, it was so cute.
tight.
I was like, yay, this is so healthy. Like, because, it does help us to know the full picture.
Right.
Because if we only hear the bad and we're trying to be there for you,
Yeah.
and then we don't hear when, like, things get resolved or,
Yeah.
like, the good things, the progress that's being
Right.
made, we only hear the next time that it's
That
bad.
it's bad.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, thank you, Nikki, for conveying the message to me because you did not. And so I thought that things were just as bad as when we were talking about a month or two ago.
Oh.
And so then I
Oh, yeah,
was
I need
like,
to update you.
and then we were finally all hanging again because we had all been sick and then we'd all been
The guys?
on the break and holidays and New Year's.
Oh yeah,
and
this was
shit.
just this week. Yeah.
Yes. And I was like, how you doing, bud? You okay? And he's like, oh man, we're killing it. Everything's good. And I'm like, what?
Well, you guys
So
need to
thanks
get your
a lot,
guys.
Nikki.
It's not my responsibility. You guys need to get your own guys chat together. Do you not have your own text machines
we
that you
do,
can
but
use
it
to
takes
each
a
other?
couple of days for us to get back and forth.
How
on
about you
things.
try texting Bart and Joe?
I don't want to. That's not my responsibility.
Oh, no. And let me know how many words they respond to you with.
I don't want to. That's not the group I picked.
Okay.
My text group is different, and I chose it. Okay.
Joe was out of town, and it's just been we've been all been gone
Yeah.
and sick and stuff.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
But so I have been
in the dark.
sitting here learning, like, oh yeah, good.
I know.
know what's
I
really-
forgot. I haven't filled you in. Steve.
That's what I'm saying. You guys are jerks. Certified jerks.
We just assume the guys talk to each other and the girls talk to each
Exactly.
other. Okay.
Well, no,
We
they
do,
just-
we do.
I
us.
think you probably assumed that Nikki's going to fill me in. Guess what? She didn't.
Yeah, I automatically assumed that you guys
Isn't
fill each
that-
other in.
Isn't it fun that we all get to like hang out together and work together?
Yes, it is.
That I could even fill you in on someone that I'm friends with and that you're friends with also.
True.
Yes,
That's fun.
but I was scared for my
thought
friend.
about that.
Aww.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Steve.
You know,
Steve.
Steve
You
wrote
helped
us
a
off
lot.
already. Like you were telling me how, like, I mean, you didn't write us off, but like you
Just about.
you kind of
It's
like
like, this is a
lost
dead end.
lost the.
You guys are headed
I
for a
lost hope
divorce.
for you
You
guys.
lost hope. Yeah, that's
because
what
it was
right.
a dark. It was a dark.
It was a dark
ending.
year last year.
Yeah.
You know what though? Like, because okay, last year we had a lot of lows, and then each low we thought, damn, this is rock bottom, and then we get lower and like, this is rock bottom. Oh shit, no wait, this is rock
And the
bottom.
friends are like, I don't know how much longer I could hold on to their hand
Right.
from this
It was
cliff.
pretty
Well,
crazy.
it's also too what I'm hearing from you guys. Like I was not hearing like
'Cause we had
I
no
think we
hope.
can do this.
like
Yeah,
we
I-
kind of lost hope.
So all I'm doing is okay. How do I support you as you
Yeah.
go through this? Not
Right.
like, hey friend, you can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not a quitter. Like I'm not that guy. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna do that, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna listen to what my friends want and what their intentions are, and try to understand what is motivating them
And what's
there.
going to give them the most happiness.
And then how can I
we
have their
support
back?
that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I was hearing from both of you, like, holy shit, this is suffering for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going, okay. And that's why when you say, like, yeah, I wrote it off, I was like, dang, I don't think that this is, I don't know if this is the best.
It makes
shit.
sense. I mean,
Yeah,
you
that
have
makes
both
sense.
sides of the puzzle here, and they're both saying the same thing. I mean, it's obviously you
Almost
would
verbatim.
conclude that it's gonna lead
We were
lead
like,
somewhere.
how can we transition you guys into freedom and happiness?
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, your
Yeah.
talks helped a lot. I think you guys brought a lot of perspective in terms of like trying to work on like what we want, you know, like that was like the verbiage a lot
Yes.
of times. It was like, Casey, what do you want? Forget the relationship. What do you want? And
Those are
like,
really helpful.
yeah, and then it's like, oh, cool. Like I don't need to always like slave work towards this relationship. I just need to work towards myself and what
And I
do
had
I
the
want?
same
And if
epiphany.
what I wanted happened to align with the relationship, that's the path to take, and that's kind of like what it was. It was like I don't need to worry about Tiff so much. I don't need to worry about the relationship so much. What do I need? I need to be healthy. It's kind of like the whole like airplane thing, like put your life vest
Yes,
thing on
you
first
weren't doing that.
before
You were not
Right.
doing that. You were not
I
putting
was
Casey
worrying about
first
everyone
ever.
else first.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
that's how
Yeah.
resentment gets built
Yes.
too.
True, you're like,
Exactly.
motherfucker, I'm
I
putting
did
this shit
all
on
this
for
for
you,
you, and
yeah,
you
you're
don't
not
even
gonna do
realize
it.
Dude, and I was
Yeah.
living in the same world as you
Yeah.
too, because from my experience, I felt the same, and I'm just like, when is he gonna show up? What the fuck? Because we were just not talking the same or speaking the same language. But
I'm so glad that you guys were able to figure that out, and
amazing.
like it's such a better tone for the year for you guys. But yeah,
2020
when
is
they
great.
say relationships are work or marriages work and stuff, I think that is what they're talking about. Is like that baseline understanding is something that a lot of people haven't figured out yet, and it does seem like the worst, most awful work, because if you haven't figured that foundation out yet, you're going to constantly have the same issues come up again and again and again, and wonder why your partner just doesn't get it.
right.
And really quick too,
That's
in
true.
our culture, like you were saying, Nikki, you watch a sitcom and they always point out how different we all are.
Yeah.
Like, oh, men and women, it's so hard to figure out. I could never speak the language and understand. I don't
Good
know.
thing we have our guy friends and our girlfriends to bitch about our
now,
spouses too.
now I can be myself again. But really, what we should all be focused on, because it's not that hard. If you can, all you have to do is understand that not all women and not all men are the same.
Right.
Like, and if you can understand your person, and if you can just work your ass off to try to understand them, then it becomes easier. But instead of pointing out, there's nothing less productive than sitting there and trying to have a relationship with somebody and just pointing out all day how different you are.
How different
Right.
men and women are.
And
on a
that's
broad
what our culture
spectrum.
does.
Yeah.
Hey, women are so different. Hey, men are so different. Don't even worry about trying to figure this shit out. It's too hard, right? They're so
Yeah.
different. It's crazy.
Wait, Steve, so it's almost like you're saying we're all individuals?
Yeah, it's almost like we're not all a fucking monolith, right? Oh, all races are not this way. All religions are not this way. All people are not this way. It's almost like individuals have their own feelings and their own
Personalities
shit.
and values?
It's a bizarre
Yeah.
theory. And so that's what we should all, I think, focus on, is not how different we are, but how similar we are.
Right.
And how beautiful that is.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then that's when you form cool
And how to
relationships.
support one another in
Yes.
those differences. And
Because
True.
what Casey said, I bring bitch energy into the group. Thanks a lot, Casey. I won't stop forgetting.
I thank you for the bitch energy, though.
Right, but
I'm
that's
loving
what,
it.
that's what I'm saying.
in the most endearing way.
No, but that's something that allowed men to open up where they're not supposed to, right? Because of our culture shit. So that's what matters, right? Not what society tells you is manly, but what you find in your group, and being able to fucking express yourself is manly.
Yeah.
and being able to
Absolutely.
say what you want and
Hell
what
yeah.
you need.
That's the
I think-
sexiest thing ever
Yeah.
for women too.
So that's my take.
Being
for men
able to
out there.
have a stance, like you said in the very beginning, that stance of how you like to operate in a relationship and making that clear is so
Yeah.
important.
It is.
And it is sexy to be like, wow, I know exactly what this man wants. I know, and he knows what I want. And now we can just better serve each other.
Exactly.
And then like he knows what he wants.
Yes.
That's the sexiest
Yes.
shit ever. For sure.
So don't forget to check out my show, Ass Lords.
I was just going to say, where can we find you? I heard there might be screenings of this project called Danger Boys that
Danger
you both worked
Boys.
on.
We'll be at UC Irvine next Friday night. I don't know when
Well,
this is going out.
probably coming out much before
problem.
then. I mean,
Please-
much after then.
please
You can
go-
book us.
You can go to a website that I don't know off the top of my head.
We'll
Go
link
I
it in the
don't know
description for
anything.
sure.
I think it's
Go-
bookingjkf@gmail.com.
Oh, Tiff,
Yeah, there we
thank
go.
you.
There we go.
Also, you can go to the Danger Boys Instagram, DangerBoys626, and we'll probably have the
All the
details.
info
Yeah, I
on
don't- how do you know all
how
this
to
stuff?
find a screening near you.
Yeah.
But that's so exciting, guys. I'm so proud of you. It's legit actually funny.
Thank you.
And I don't say that about
Oh,
a lot
thank
of
you.
projects.
Yeah, it's
No,
a
you do
really good.
But it actually is really, really, really good. Really
Words of
well done.
affirmation?
Really funny.
Yes.
Wouldn't work out very well for you.
They really wouldn't.
Would be fun for you, my friend. Oh no!
Not a lot I could say about Steve's work other than this project.
Thankfully,
I'm kidding,
that's not
I'm kidding,
my
I'm
love
kidding.
language.
No, it's super funny. You guys should check it
But
out.
follow their Danger Boy 626 on Instagram. Follow all their social media. All the links of everything we've talked about will be in the description.
Yeah.
And any last words, guys?
Just how different we all are is not that interesting.
And-
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Nailed it.
there we go.
And check out my show, Ass Lords. We talk about beating the absolute shit out of pussy and crushing pussy.
And be sure to subscribe
Well-
on our
And
YouTube channel.
and we are all going to crush pussy in 2020.
And crush pussy by rating us 5 stars on iTunes. That would be amazing. Awesome. We love you guys. Thanks for watching. And we'll see you next time.
See you.
Bye.